A law firm is a business. Like any business, it has overhead, it has competitors, and it must secure market share to generate income. Firms grow through two primary channels: advertising their services to the public and building networks for third-party referrals. But financial pressure to secure clients can never override the strict requirements of professional conduct. Under SRA Principle 3, a solicitor must maintain absolute independence, refusing any arrangement restricting objective judgment. And under Principle 7, commercial decisions must ultimately serve the client's best interests. The SRA defines publicity broadly. The rules cover the firm's website and promotional brochures, social media appearances, and direct approaches to potential clients. The baseline rule is straightforward. All publicity must be accurate and not misleading, and fully compliant with general data protection laws like the GDPR and the Data Protection Act 2018. To map the exact boundaries of legal marketing, we have to deconstruct specific fact patterns. We need to see exactly where these standard business development tactics cross the line into reportable regulatory breaches. Let's examine a solicitor named Misbah, who is executing a firm-wide marketing drive to generate new business. Misbah's first proposed tactic is cold calling former clients who have not used the firm recently. This is permitted, provided Misbah has the requisite GDPR consent and complies with general data law. Reaching out to past clients is within the rules. Misbah's second proposed tactic is a door-to-door visitation campaign at a specific, newly built luxury housing development. This is a violation. Paragraph 8.9 of the Code of Conduct strictly prohibits unsolicited approaches to individual members of the public that feel unwelcome or intrusive. The rules draw a sharp line between targeted and untargeted marketing. Distributing general leaflets to every home in a large postcode area is untargeted and therefore permitted. Knocking on specific doors or making unsolicited phone calls to strangers is targeted. The exact threshold of professional misconduct here is personal intrusion. Mass geographic marketing is allowed, but targeting individuals in their personal space without an existing relationship breaches the code. Consider a second scenario. A solicitor is invited by a care home manager to give an educational talk to residents on the importance of making a will. Delivering an even-handed, informative presentation to interested residents is allowed. It functions as an educational service. However, at the end of the talk, the solicitor hands out firm leaflets and offers to draw up wills for the residents right there on the spot. When we evaluate this escalation against the paragraph 8.9 framework, the nature of the interaction changes completely. Offering on-the-spot services constitutes a targeted, intrusive, and unsolicited approach to the ultimate clients. The manager's prior invitation to speak does not exempt the solicitor from this rule. Furthermore, this creates an ethical risk, potentially taking advantage of a vulnerable audience. An invitation to educate a group does not bypass the ban on unsolicited targeting of individuals within that group. The boundary between a public speaker and an intrusive salesperson must remain rigid. Websites. We must apply the SRA transparency rules. These are designed to ensure consumers have accurate information to make informed choices. If a firm publishes the availability of certain consumer-facing services, like residential conveyancing, uncontested UK probate, or summary motoring offenses, the rules mandate specific disclosures. The same applies to specific business-facing services, including debt recovery up to £100,000 and defending employment tribunal claims. This is a view of a compliant display. The firm must publish the total or average cost of the service, clarify if the basis is an hourly rate or fixed fee, and explicitly list what is and is not included in the price. The rules also require operational data. Firms must display the experience and qualifications of the staff carrying out the work, typical timescales, key stages of the matter, and whether VAT is payable. Authorized bodies must include mandatory digital components on their website, the prominent display of their SRA number, and a clickable SRA digital badge. The site must also publish the firm's complaints handling process, complete with direct contact details for both the SRA and the legal ombudsman. These obligations extend offline. Letterheads and emails must display the SRA authorization number, alongside text confirming the firm is authorized and regulated by the SRA. Displaying this financial and operational data is not a marketing suggestion. It is a strict regulatory prerequisite for promoting these specific legal services to the public. We also have rules for outbound third-party referrals. Take a solicitor named Perry, who considers an agreement to refer clients to a firm of independent financial advisors in exchange for a commission. This map visualizes the proposed relationship. The client moves from Perry to the financial advisor, and a commission flows back to Perry. Perry can only agree to this if her independence is not compromised. She must feel completely free to refer clients to other advisors if she chooses. She must also ensure the referral itself is genuinely in that specific client's best interests. Under paragraph 5.1a, the client must be explicitly informed of any financial interest or commission Perry receives for making the introduction. If a solicitor refers a client to a separate business, one connected to the law firm but not SRA regulated, they must obtain informed consent and make the lack of SRA regulation completely clear to the client. Financial incentives for outbound referrals are legal, but only if they survive a rigid three-part test: independence, client best interests, and absolute transparency. Reversing the flow, we look at clients introduced to the solicitor by a third party, known as an introducer. A solicitor cannot accept a client if the introducer acquired them through prohibited means. If the introducer cold-called the client, the solicitor must reject the referral. Any fee-sharing agreements with an introducer must be written down and fully disclosed to the client. However, there is an absolute statutory exception that overrides any SRA permissions regarding referrals. This is dictated by the Legal Aid, Sentencing, and Punishment of Offenders Act 2012, known as LASPO. LASPO imposes an absolute prohibition on the payment or receipt of referral fees in claims for damages following personal injury or death. While the SRA allows structured fee sharing in general practice, parliamentary statute completely severs the financial link in personal injury cases. Any referral payment in this sector is illegal. A firm's commercial marketing is permitted right up to the exact line of intrusion or obfuscation. We evaluate direct marketing by checking the source of business against the anti-intrusion rules of paragraph 8.9. For third-party referrals, we apply paragraph 5.1 and statutory law, demanding written agreements, full consent, and zero referral fees for personal injury work. These principles apply across all evolving platforms. A casual social media post intended to market the firm can easily breach client confidentiality or cross into a prohibited approach if not strictly managed. The SRA allows commercial growth, provided the solicitor never delegates, dilutes, or compromises their core regulatory duties of independence, competence, and putting the client first.